Hello friends and subscribers, I hope you're all doing well, and I'm a lot better now. I no longer have COVID, tested negative, all good. So, yeah, I apologise for the lighting, because it's really, it's very grim weather out there today. It's quite dark in this room, which is why I've turned the light on. But yeah, it's still not great, but hey, it is what it is. So today I'm going to be talking about the Monkees, a great band that I got into them when I was a kid. I had the Monkees compilation, the definitive Monkees. Not this exact copy, but this album. Had it when I was a kid. I played it all the time. But then I didn't really listen to them for in later years. Although I still liked them. I would occasionally hear Last Train to Clarksville on the radio. Always loved that song. But it wasn't until 3 years ago, 2020, it's during lockdown, actually, that I started getting into the Monkees again, really listening to their songs on YouTube. So I wanted to buy a Monkees CD again. So I ended up rebuying this compilation. This is the one that I rebought back in 2020. And yeah, I love every song. I played it, just love it. It got theme from the Monkees, Last Train to Clarksville on here, I'm a Believer, I'm Not Your Stepping Stone, Pleasant Valley Sunday, Daydream Believer, all of their best known songs are here. But I love this so much that I wanted more. I wanted the albums, because I loved every song on this compilation. So I picked this up, original album series. It's a great little box set. So this has their first 5 albums. So it has the debut album, More of the Monkees, Headquarters, Pisces, Aquarius, Capricorn and Jones Limited, and The Birds, the Bees and the Monkees. So yeah, it's a great little set. I'll show you the individual CDs. So there's the first album, and they're all in these cardboard slipcases. They kind of replicate the original vinyl albums. So yeah, these are really nicely done. You get bonus tracks on these as well. You get some alternate versions. Yeah, and they sound good as well. More of the Monkees. This album gets quite a lot of crap, but I really love this album. Because there's songs on here like Auntie Griselda and Laugh, which a lot of people hate them. Hate them songs. I love them. Of course, this was the album that the Monkees didn't even know was being released. It wasn't until they walked past a record shop window, they saw this album in the window. They were quite pissed off about it, but I'm glad that this album exists. Of course, Headquarters. This was the album where they play all the instruments. And yeah, this is a great album. It's considered their best. It's probably my second favourite. We'll get to my favourite one in a minute. This is my favourite. Pisces, Aquarius, Capricorn and Jones Limited. This is their psychedelic album. It's kind of like their Sgt. Pepper. It's got a very psychedelic album cover. And yeah, it has Star Collector, which is one of my favourite Monkey songs. Daily Nightly. They're both very, Daily Nightly is very trippy. And both of those tracks, Star Collector and Daily Nightly, use the synthesizer. Mickey Dolenz was actually one of the first people to own a Moog synthesizer. We've also got Cuddly Toy on here, which is great. Words, Pleasant Valley Sunday. It's just a fantastic album. And then the very underrated The Birds, the Bees and the Monkees. This is like their White Album, in a way, because on some of the tracks you've only got one member of the band playing on it or singing on it. So yeah, it's like their White Album. This came out the same year as the White Album. Apart from Daydream Believer, a lot of people really, dismiss this album. I love it. I think it's great. But the main purpose of this video is to debate whether or not the Monkees are a real band or not. Because obviously they started out as a fictional band in the TV series of the same name. Great show, by the way. I've seen lots of episodes on YouTube. I don't own them on DVD. I'd like to. Quite hard to find though. I've got the film on DVD, the Head film, which a lot of people don't like that film. I like it. I've got it on DVD, although I haven't actually got it on me at the moment. I could have shown that, but yeah, I do have that. I don't have the soundtrack to it. I do want to get the soundtrack to that film. I do want to get the rest of the albums as well. But anyway, I digress. So they were a fictional band in a TV series, so they didn't play the instruments when they recorded the songs. They recorded their vocals, but they had studio musicians and other musicians, like Neil Diamond and other musicians. They wrote the songs for them to sing. But they wanted to prove that they could actually play the instruments, so they did on the Headquarters album. On Pisces, Aquarius, Capricorn and Jones, they also play the instruments on there as well, I think. So yeah, they wanted to prove that they could play their own instruments, and they could. They were talented. So they became a real band even after the TV show ended. They still continued to make music. They recorded more albums after. Of course, they did the Head film after the TV series ended. But after that, they did... What was the album called? Instant Replay, which is also a really good album. Although I think it doesn't have Peter Tork on it, though. So that has only 3 members on it. And then Monkees Present, which is also just 3 members, and then Changes, which doesn't have Mike Nesmith on it, so it's just Mickey and Davey on that album. And that kind of was their last album until they made a comeback in the 80s. Because they had that Pleasant Valley Sunday marathon on, when they were rerunning their episodes on TV. So yeah, they released that Pull It album, which in my opinion wasn't a very good album. Apart from Heart and Soul, which was the single that came from that album, that was a good song, but the rest of the album's not that great. And then I think Justice, which was their 1996 album, that was great. Yeah, I liked that. That one had all 4 members on it, whereas Pull It didn't feature Mike, but the other 3 were on there. So yeah, they started out as a fictional band, but they became a real band. So in my argument, yeah, I do consider them a real band because they have great music, so many great songs, great albums. I love them. They may not be as good as the Beatles. The Beatles are superior, of course, in my opinion. But I love the Monkees. And, I'm not afraid to admit that I love the Monkees. They're not just a guilty pleasure for me. I genuinely think they are a great band. And this is something I've never been afraid to admit. I've never kept quiet about my love for the Monkees. I like them. If people like, if people like a certain artist or a band, I don't think they should have to keep quiet about it. I don't think they should have to be embarrassed about it, because I'm certainly not embarrassed to be a fan of the Monkees. And you shouldn't either. So, yeah, I do consider the Monkees a real band. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. And subscribe for more content. Click the bell so that you don't miss out on an upload. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.